What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ, Bucky, and Rhett with you. Boys, what is going on?
Well, it's getting to be our time of year here, folks. We're getting to, like Bill Belichick used to say, the season starts after Thanksgiving. Well, in a way, that goes for us too, right? Because we're getting close to draft season here. December really starts to feel like it when we start getting all the bowl games and all that, and start watching. I know you're already digging into all that.
You know what tells you it's a good time? When this showed up in the mail the other day.
Oh, we got the Sharpies ready.
Buck.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
That's when it's go time. When you get the new pens, some fresh pens
for the notebook.
Yeah.
I do love that you still use a traditional notebook in this digital age. Bucky's got one. He's got one. Yeah.
Mine just came in the mail. I just put it together. Red, Thanksgiving is when we kick it off. Like it's go time. Like
the goal every year for me is Halloween, but realistically, it's more like Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. Yeah.
It's go time.
Starts cranking up. Yeah. We are going to do some rookie draft here in just a second.
Of course we
will also talk about our coordinator of the week coming up. But I wanted to start first of all with a little scouty thing here. Buck, I was curious. I talked when Jags and the Chargers played a couple weeks back. I had a chance to talk with a lot of their guys down there on the field, and you told me about some of the stuff they were doing that's kind of new age, cutting edge, a little different. So I got to learn a little bit about that. But I'd love to know, just having been around it more than I have, what stood out to you the most about a tweak? I actually just got off the phone with the general manager in baseball, and we were talking about how you want to navigate this process and how you can make changes. So we were talking about some of that stuff, but I'm curious, what stood out to you about how things are a little different?
So I would say the biggest thing that is different, I would say that they do a really good job of keeping the conversation flowing and making it organic. So DJ, you've been in these meeting rooms, right? When you're in these meeting rooms, everyone has loud opinions until you have to sit down and it really matters. Either the general manager, the head coach, the president, they're in the room. So now everybody's opinion is not as boisterous or as, I would say, authentic, because people are toning it down based on how it's going to be received. So some of the things that they've done, and this comes from the Rams, is like they'll have these conversations, but behind the scenes, it's all virtual. But people are recording what's going on, and they remember some of the things that you're saying. So if you're hot on the guy early, and then the next time we have a meeting, you're cool on him, now it's like, hey, what's really going on?
We got record of this. Yeah.
Right. But it's done in a different way, because it's done with like surveys and behind the scenes stuff where you can be real and authentic without necessarily your name attached to the group. So you have the confidence to freely talk without it being a dicey situation. So that part is interesting. Using emojis instead of these long verbose reports. That's also good, because to me, it just gets right to the point. Because a lot of times when we're scouting and you talk about looking at 300 or 400 dudes, you just want to get to it. What's the one-liner? Give me 150 words on who this player is, and let's move on, as opposed to all these things that DJ and I used to have to do, fill in all these boxes, write a report that would take an hour on a player that can't really play. Let's just get to it so we can, let's talk about the players who can play, the players that we like, as opposed to, I would say, all these mechanisms that you do just to feel like you're working.
Well, here, and I thought that when we were doing that Path to the Draft segment where we were putting stickers on the touchscreen, that was
we were trend setting.
But I mean, for real, like that's kind of what it is. Like it's the emojis, it's the three fire emojis, it's the superpowers, it's
what catches
all of that stuff. And I mean, much like TV, but think about it. Like we're in an age now where everyone has a short attention span. You don't want to have to go through these long things. Let's get right to it. What's the player's superpower? What did they do well? Let's get.
I also think they're chopping it up, Rhett. They're chopping it up a little bit between here's your background, go get your background. Then we have our core group of 6 guys who are going to be doing the player evaluation.
Right.
And then we're going to get to the point where the workouts or whatever you want to do with that, coaches can jump in and enter the fray at that point.
Let me ask you this on that front. I'm all for efficiency, right? All for efficiency, utilizing technology wherever you can. I know teams are really kind of digging into that, but has AI entered the scouting world at all?
Oh, yeah.
Chat GPTing reports here, like taking all of our information and like, hey, put this into this format, that sort of thing.
I think what it is you have all the data that you can dump in there, and then it's quickly being able to give you comparisons with players. It's giving you percentiles of hit rates. I talked about it with some scouts when I was doing the training camp tour, and they were like, dude, and this was with the executives, and like, man, my scouts are all freaked out. We're all going to get replaced by AI out on the road. And I'm like, I'm sure it's like that in every profession, but no, it has its place for sure.
Yeah.
You guys want to get an update on the rookies? I don't know how this is happening.
I know. I mean, I've been following.
Last week, Rhett knocked out 7 more points. Bucky picked up
again?
3. Yeah, I picked up
7
2
points. How do you get 7 points?
He's open because he had Travion
Higgins
Henderson.
and Loveland.
He had Loveland one off. So he got points for all his guys.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's tough, man.
It's tough.
One other guy though was solid for me. He got me some solid work for me.
He did not get you a single point. So,
oh my gosh, I'm looking at it now. Genty had, oh my gosh, that's a Genty week, Buck. Hey,
Genty, I know. That's happened a couple of times where the Raiders just get like pasted, and yet Genty ends up, winning the day in our rookie draft. But
I cannot believe I was watching the Bears game, going like, oh, one guy's having a solid day, got in the end zone, didn't even get me a point with Henderson and Genty going off there. I'm trying to see how I got my point for McMillan.
McMillan and Warren.
Yep. And then Warren. So I got
not too many weeks that Warren has been available and not won the week for tight ends.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. All right. So I'm up first, I believe, today.
Yes, you are.
So going a couple different directions here.
No buys this week. We're all available.
Yeah. I'm going to play the hot hand. I'm going to go with Travion Henderson. Bucky, you're up next.
Wow, Travion Henderson right out the gate, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I guess I'm going to take the tight end. I think I'm taking Tyler Warren.
You're going to go Tyler Warren.
I'm going to go Tyler Warren. Take him right out the gate.
So I go back to back here. This is an interesting one because like the Raiders with Genty, it's just like they're just not good. I don't know what this is going to look like now without Chip Kelly, now that Chip's gone. And we're going to get into that in a little bit as well. So Chip lasts 11 games and he's out. And now, how are they going to utilize Genty? It's mostly been in the pass game, guys. It's like been with like those little short receptions that he's been kind of racking up the fantasy points. Quinshon Judkins ended up with 2 scores last week. And I kind of feel like that's where I want to go now that Shador is starting. Oh gosh, I think I'm going to do it. And, I'm going to go with Quinshon Judkins. And then I'm going to go with Colston Loveland and just, pick off the second tight end there who's been tight end number 1. So Judkins and Loveland for me.
All right,
gosh. Well, man, it goes back to me. We're Red. Thank you. Because I was sitting there waiting. If you didn't take Judkins, I was going to take him. But now that you left me Genty, I'm going to take Genty because here's what we do now. Typically, when someone gets fired, the new guy that comes in to play call, he's going to make sure that he acquiesces to the head coach's demands. And that means that Ashton Genty may touch it 50 times in this game. So I'm going to go with Ashton Genty.
Chargers defense pretty good, though. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. Touches matter. We need touches.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go with Teteroa McMillan as I clear my throat. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go with the Charger Rondé Gadsden second here.
Okay, so you've got you've filled out your roster, which means Bucky, you got to get a receiver here, buddy.
Yeah, well, I got to get a receiver, and I'm worried because my guy's getting an MRI, but I don't think it changes. Let's go to Emeka Egbuka. Let's just see if he can still can get it done without Baker.
Okay.
Interesting.
So Rhett needs a wideout. Is this Io Manor? You could go Io Manor.
No. Higgins won the week last week. So with maybe Sauce Gardner playing a little bit more attention to Nico Collins, and we'll see where they go. But guys, that feels like a pretty good one to just kind of ride the horses here. So I'm gonna go right back with Jaden Higgins.
Just takes 1 week, Buck. We just need one good week, and we're right back in this thing, man. Right back in it.
Speak for yourself. Buck's down 14. So,
but he has a clean sweep. If he has a clean sweep, he gets a 9.
I'm waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, Buck's under the assumption that it's all resets once we get
it's
playoff seeding. This is just for playoff seeding.
I'm waiting for the playoffs. We just got to get it.
It gets all reset. All right, guys. If you want to watch some football like we do, we would encourage you to sign up for NFL Plus Premium. Check out NFL Pro, where you can access over 95 unique player and team performance stats and the All-22 film, available on desktop and the mobile web. So we're looking at our coordinator of the week. And look, we talked so much about Shedeur Sanders, the job he did. Thought he did a nice job, played well, pushed the ball down the field. So we're going to give his offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, the Coordinator of the Week award. So Shedeur was 11 of 20, not flashy there, but 209 yards, touchdown, and a pick. First Browns quarterback to win in his first career start since Eric Zier in 1995. So that's been a minute.
Is his name on the jersey? Because that was before they left.
That's before. I don't think he gets to be on the jersey there. Right. Good basketball player, though. When I worked for the Ravens and he had played for the Ravens, they said he was an excellent basketball player. Side note.
Nice.
So Tommy Rees has been the OC there and pass game specialist and tight ends coach going through his time there with the Cleveland Browns over the last couple of years. Before that, he was at Alabama in 23 as a coordinator and quarterback coach. I remember he played at Notre Dame, was offensive coordinator there during his time, was there at Notre Dame from 2017 to 2022. So he's been around. Remember him playing, and his dad, Bill Rees, was a longtime personnel man in the NFL. We crossed paths there for a minute in Cleveland. Nice. So anyways, good to see him have some success there and get Shedeur Sanders up and running. Buck, I know there's been talk about, what would happen, coaching changes in the offseason. I know the record's not where the Browns would like it. They've got to get the quarterback thing figured out here, but I think they'd be nuts to move on from this staff. They've got a good head coach, a good defensive coordinator, and I think Tommy Rees is going to grow into being a good offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah, look, man, they got a lot of things. And I think the one thing that bodes well for the Cleveland Browns is the young players are playing really, really well. You think about their rookie class and the contributions that they're getting. We can talk about the guys picking the players, but the coaches have to develop them and put them on the field. Then defensively, Myles Garrett is on pace to have 27 plus sacks this season on a team that is always behind. Like, it's ridiculous that he's been able to be that productive. That speaks to Jim Schwartz's creativity and some of the other things. And I'll just say this defensively, man, they're as good as anybody when they can get down. If they just had a competent offense that could just not turn it over, keep them in play, man, they would be so good. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. I don't think they need to move on from this staff. They got to figure out the quarterback thing, and then they just got to continue to let it grow and bubble. And at a time when no one has patience, we're asking for patience for the Browns.
If Shedeur plays really well, Rhett, if he say he just gets better and better and he gives them the hope he can be their guy, that changes their entire offseason, man.
Well, no question. I think we're a ways away from that at this point. But
there's enough runway where he could get that plane up in the air.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we got 6 weeks left here. And so I think that definitely gives you a pretty decent sample size to do that. Now, I go back to what Tommy Rees said. I mean, like, he understood what he was getting into here, right, with Shedeur. And he was like, my job before the game happened, he's like, my job is to make Shedeur Sanders as comfortable as possible, right? So they, you had to obviously ramp up all the reps compared to what he had been getting. They talked about how he got, Ian mentioned that some of the young guys get some of those reps, each practice, after the initial practice goes on. And it, felt like that was probably pretty useful for him. But like going back to running Wildcat with Judkins down in the end zone, like having a package down in the low red like that takes some of that stuff off Shedeur's plate. I thought making him comfortable getting Dylan Sampson going in the pass game. And then, Shedeur, for his part, put the ball where it needed to be for his playmakers to go out there and run with it. I mean, like, the Browns led the league in yak per reception in this week of football. All 32 teams. Browns had the highest yak per reception. Now the Dylan Sampson helps. Big part of that. Yeah, big part of that. But like Malachi Corley averaged 12 yards a pop after the catch. And that's what we had talked about with him coming into the draft. Kind of same thing for Judy and Tillman. So like, I think he did his part, but then those two working together figured out, all right, what are the best ways for us to execute, to attack this defense, and to put Shedeur in positions to be successful. And as simple as that sounds, I do feel like sometimes it doesn't always go that way. So I give Tommy and Kevin Stefanski and that offensive staff a lot of credit for making Shedeur comfortable. And yeah, boy, it would solve a lot of their problems if he is able to emerge as the guy here. And like, think about all the different like things that they've already dealt with. Like they thought for a moment that Kenny Pickett was going to be the starting quarterback in fall camp. And then, and then Flacco comes out and is the guy. And then they got to get to Gabriel. I mean, like the amount of change that they have had to overcome and then to find some stability within the landscape of a game with a rookie quarterback like that, I think is pretty impressive.
So an interesting thing, I don't know if you saw this report, Mary Kay Cabot talked about Deshaun Watson being on their roster next year and potentially being their bridge quarterback and doing all this other stuff. I think the Browns, after they do their due diligence on the 2026 class, I think the first thing they got to do is they got to make a decision. Is anybody in that class worthy of using the capital that they've stockpiled at quarterback for a quarterback? Because if not, if they just pour those assets into other parts of the team and do what we've talked about doing, wait to 2027 and drop the quarterback in when you have a better overall team, that to me would be the more sensible plan, regardless of whether it's Shador or Dylan Gabriel or whoever is the quarterback. But do they have enough patience to take that approach? Because that approach could pay off well, particularly with 2027 looking like it's going to have more options at quarterback than what we have in 2026.
Be careful saying that out loud, Buck. There's some folks in Cleveland that they get all feisty and upset when you say that they should build up the rest of the roster, speaking from experience. They want to take a quarterback every year. I
think they should take a quarterback.
One.
I just wanted to get that out. Just wanted to level it out.
You want to get them off your back. It's like, gee, Christmas, guys. And they get fired up now. It's not like just a disagreement. It's like they lose their minds.
Yeah.
And the guy that they wanted, the guy they were freaking out that when I suggested that maybe they not take him, they ended up getting in the 5th round. So I checked my inbox. I didn't see an apology in there, but maybe I just missed it. Nonetheless, they have a good coaching staff. They got some good pieces in place. If for somehow he plays really, really well and their draft capital can be used to support him instead of to replace him, they're in a whole different situation here. So, and look, hope he does. Hope Shador plays well for the Browns and their fan base, and they can get rolling here. All right, let's change gears a little bit here. Time for Hot or Not. It's brought to you by Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. This is definitely in the not portion of that, and that is some of the firings that took place. Chip Kelly, he is out as offensive coordinator of the Raiders. 3 years, $18 million, lasted 11 games. And then Shane Bowen out as defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. So let's start on the Chip Kelly thing, Buck. He's been a friend of the show. He's been good to us over the years. Really like Chip a lot as a person, but the results there and whether or not it was lack of talent, what the issue was, but that was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But I mean, I don't know, man. He's in his first season. It's the first year of a rebuild. I just think our expectations are so high for what the turnaround needs to look like right away. And I know Ben Johnson and some guys have been able to jump in and do it. But I think Ben Johnson stepped into a better situation with better talent. I don't think the Raiders are that talented on offense when you look at their personnel on the perimeter. No number one receiver. You have Brock Bowers, you have Ashton Genty, but you don't have much beyond that. Man, at the end of the day, this is a league about players. And you have to have good players to move the ball effectively, especially against good teams, and they just don't have it. I think Chip's offense has worked at times in the leagues, and people can talk about the inconsistencies and the results and all that. But I know this. I know he's a really good offensive coordinator. For whatever reason, didn't work in Vegas. I just think pulling the plug after 11 games is just really, really quick.
I agree with you guys on Chip. I think he's a sharp dude who understands, offensive football really well. I mean, like you look at what he did with the Ohio State offense last year, and I mean that was that was fantastic. But again, you look at the talent level, and it had probably the best talent in the country, and he found ways to utilize it for sure. Different situation in Vegas. I do wonder if there was at all some sort of philosophy clash, between the way that Chip wanted to run things and the idea of, what's important to Pete Carroll. Like, I think, I'm not saying that there were excuses made, but I would imagine that, Chip's like, oh, look, we don't necessarily have the guys we need to make this work the way that we want to. And I could see how, Pete's like, well, you know what, just keep competing. Right. I mean, like, I get the sense that maybe he doesn't want guys feeding into the circumstances, right? As opposed to just figuring out how to find the results. Not saying that happened, but I could certainly see if that's something that went the wrong way. But I mean, shoot, they're running out of guys to let go over there. I mean, they already did the special teams coordinator, offense coordinator now. Again, we talked about this when John Spytek got the job as the GM. Tampa had been really good at beefing up both sides of the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. They still have a lot of work to do there, right? And again, it's just one off season. It's been 11 games. Like I think at this point with the Raiders, man, the way that they've seen turnover, there's got to be some patience here at some point.
So here's my question, and Buck, you can answer it first, and Rhett followed up. But remember when we were in high school and used to have the all league team came out? Like your first team all league was kind of a big deal, growing up when we grew up, and then you had beyond that maybe the city or the state or what have you. But I'm just thinking if we just looked at the league as the AFC West, Brock Bowers, and this is just one glance over the roster, Brock Bowers would be the only person on the Raiders who would be first team all AFC West on offense. If we're looking at offense. I think that's the only one.
Yeah.
Who else? There's nothing else.
Max, because
I'm just talking offense. Just on offense, because offensive coordinator is the one who got fired. So if I'm looking at it going like that's trying to, I mean, look, it's been ugly. And that's the problem. That's the problem is that you could look at it and say, nah, it's too early and pull up. I mean, there's also a threshold of just like, ooh, this is so bad. And when you're giving up 10 sacks and you don't have a chance. But that being said, they've got to upgrade the talent, man.
Well, look, and Gino, I mean, like Gino is frustrated. Like he's losing his mind after every other rep, and I get it. It's a lot different for him not having DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba out there as it has been up in Seattle. And the offensive line is a lot different. And Colton Miller, their best, is a guy who could have been.
We got Tyler Lockett back in his defense.
Well, that's fair point.
Congrats.
Good point.
But not prime Tyler Lockett.
Not that one. Right.
That's a tough one. All right. Well, let's get over to the defensive side of the ball. What do you think about the Giants making that move? Buck.
Man, look, I don't know. I understand it. But now everything is like in the vacuum. You have an interim coach. So then you're going to elevate someone on the staff to be the interim defensive coordinator. You're trying to fix it with 6 or 7 games left. I think Mike Kafka has done a really good job of, one, the offense and the team operation looks better. When you hear the information from the players, they talk about more meeting time, more intentional work to get the team better prepared. All this stuff is positive. I understand why you're frustrated with the defense because you have lost, 4 or 5 fourth quarter leads.
They blow games, man.
And to be honest, the defense was supposed to be the best part of this team going into the year. When you look at the personnel, the blue chippers that they have on the defensive line and those things, I understand it. I just don't know if you can change it with 6 games left with a new voice.
Yeah. I wonder, if this goes back to a couple of weeks ago, right? You had Brian Burns talking about, airing his frustrations, walking into the locker room about the way that they approached certain things late in games. And you were just talking about the leads that they've given up. Is this a chance for Mike Kafka to say like, hey, I can make the tough calls. Like I can be the guy that figures this thing out for us. And this is the way that I feel like we have to go in order to, put our best product out on the field. And if this is an audition for Mike Kafka to potentially get a look as the full-time head coach or as a head coach somewhere else, you're going to do whatever you can to put your team in the best possible spot, and to be able to, kind of make that resume as attractive as possible. And I'm not saying that's why you made the firing, but the more you win and the more that you play well with the decisions that you've made, I think the more you do that. So I think it's kind of it's a bold move, but I think it's one that clearly, he hopes changes the direction of where they're going here, these final 6 games, and maybe gives them a chance to hold on to this thing full time.
Yeah, I think there's 2 types of interim coaches. There's the, hey, let's just keep the lights on inside the building, interim head coach. And then there's the other guy who wants to buy the house. Yeah. And to me, I think, and rightfully so, Kafka has been an attractive candidate for these jobs with his background and who he's been around and all those things. So he's saying, hey, I got one shot at this thing, man. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is we've blown all these games and I can't afford to do that down the stretch. I'm going to need to go 5-1 or whatever down the stretch and show some serious, chops here as a head coach to get this job. I don't blame him for doing that.
No, I don't blame him. And look, I'll say this because like the record is the record. I do believe he's very qualified to get this job. When you think about what they potentially could do from a continuity standpoint around the quarterback, if he gets the job, you're able to kind of continue to build upon what you started as opposed to overhauling the system. there's no denying the last 2 weeks since he's taken over offensively, they have been a smoother, cleaner operation. They're doing it with Jameis Winston in the game. So only imagine what they'll be able to do with Jackson Dart and those things. I like what I've heard from the players. I talked about the meeting and the professionalism and how he handled Abdul Carter coming in late and doing those things. Like, I like all of that. So if you're going all in, Mike Caffrey, to get this, I understand saying, hey, man, let me get a new voice. Let's do something different on defense to see if we can just stop the bleeding, because we're close enough to win games.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. And that's, look, that's the way the league goes. You get to this time of the year and teams are making some changes, trying to salvage whatever they have left of the season. So best of luck to Coach Bowen, Coach Kelly, as they try and figure out what's next for them. That was this week's Hot or Not segment, brought to you by Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. Store more and do more with your data. Try them for free at wasabi.com. All right, guys, as we wrap it up, Rhett, are you hosting Thanksgiving? Are you traveling? What are you doing?
Well, it's going to depend. It'll depend on whether we get the next addition to the family here this week.
That's right.
Yeah. So
how are we're right on that.
We're on. It's happening.
We're on baby watch.
Likely happening this week here, folks.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Buck, are you behind on this update?
I completely missed this. Yeah. Like I'm thinking you're like, oh, we're about to go get a puppy, or we get a kitten.
No.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, baby girl coming probably this week.
Bringing some balance to the force this week, Buck. Well, not total, not 50-50 balance, but there's
holy smokes.
Yeah, he's got a girl edition here.
Trying to figure out whether we're going to be having Thanksgiving at the hospital or not. So,
Buck, I've told him this about boys, girls, and you're somebody who's a father of both. So I would say, young, girls easy, boys hard.
Yes.
In terms of their rambunctiousness.
So far, that's 50% is right.
Once we get to those teenage years, boys, piece of cake. Girls, you got your work cut out for you.
I'm with you. It just depends on the foundation, Rhett. If you do a good foundation,
build up the foundation. Okay.
If you build up the foundation early, then you can have some of those conversations or whatever. DJ's farther down the line. Like,
hey, true.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, it's not true.
I'm hopeful.
That's not true.
Okay.
You can try whatever you want, buddy, but you'll be giving me phone calls. The best advice I've got as you're getting ready to be a girl dad was when you get to the teenage years. This is from Matt Money Smith, who's 3 daughters, and he gave me this great advice. He said, they're going to get on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You cannot get on with them. So you got to stay off the ride as it goes up and down.
I got to go like this.
Yeah. Because guess what? They are young. And when you're young, you can ride roller coasters and not get hurt. Adults, you're going to go out there, your back's going to hurt, your shoulder, your neck. Like, you can't do that.
Fair enough.
You got to stay right here. Nice
good
level,
advice.
Even. Yeah. So there's your update there. By the way, remind everybody, you can check out Thursday, the football, which is in honor to commemorate the late John Madden. That's the 4th annual John Madden Thanksgiving celebration on Thursday, November 27th. This year, the NFL will benefit the newly created John Madden Foundation by auctioning off game-used items from the 3 Thanksgiving Day games via NFL auction, with proceeds supporting the new foundation. So enjoy your football and know there's a good cause associated with it as well. That's going to do it for us, Rhett. We will not see you again. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. We'll see you on here next week.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.